Alright, 6th grade, this be the first of your review videos for Treasure Island. And this one I'll be focusing mainly on part 1 of Treasure Island, as well as a few of the literary terms you should be knowing when it comes to a test. Well, let's start. Treasure Island opens and we get our initial setting that this whole story is being told in a flashback by Jim Hawkins. A flashback, for those of you who don't be remembering, is when a story tells you the events from a point at the present, tells you about events in the past. So the entirety of Treasure Island is told from Jim's perspective after the adventure is told. There's also a literary term called a framing device used here because Jim is writing this down at the behest of the squire and the doctor. But you don't need to know what a framing device be. We do more with that when we get to 8th grade. Now, we get to learn our setting, that we are set sometime in the late 1700s. Jim does not give us the exact year, with the idea of making it harder for someone to find out where Treasure Island is. It's the conceit that this is in fact a real story and that Treasure Island is a real place, even though this be entirely a work of fiction, and any similarities to persons living or dead are merely coincidental. Now, Part 1 is set largely at the Admiral Benbow, and Part 1 deals with the sea captain who is there, and a drunk, and something of a problem. He tells Jim always to be on the lookout for the seafaring man with one leg. And he would pay Jim, skips on the payment, but then realizes, you know what, I'm really afraid of that seafaring man with one leg. And so he pays Jim to keep an eye out for him. The captain, who we later learn is named Billy Bones, likes to drink rum to the point of excess, and frequently is slobbering drunk throughout the Admiral Benbow Inn. Jim's father is ill, and a doctor comes to attend to him. However, Jim's father does not really play into this story. It continues to a point when a man named Black Dog arrives. And when Black Dog meets Billy Bones, the two come to blows, and Billy Bones chases him out of the Admiral Benbow with a cutlass in hand. Rather ferocious man, don't you think? However, this causes a stroke in poor Billy Bones, and the doctor treats him, drains some blood, tells him to stop drinking rum. Billy Bones, being a pirate, doesn't need that doctor's book learning, and he goes and continues to drink rum. This will, in fact, lead to his death. Alcoholism is a serious issue in the pirate community. The doctor having told Jim this, also encourages Jim to do that. However, things continue to get worse. Another pirate, this one blind, and incredibly cruel and strong, arrives and forces Jim to take him to Billy Bones and hands him a piece of paper. And on this paper is the black spot. The black spot, for those of you who don't remember, is a pirate's death sentence. It's a summons telling him, we're coming to get you because you are a failure and you've betrayed us. Billy Bones starts to panic, but before anything else can happen to him, he has another stroke and dies. He, like Jim's father, is now dead. And Jim knows now that there are pirates coming. So Jim and his mother go around trying to find help, but no one's willing to help them. They just hand him a gun. They go and they start counting money, and Jim takes an oilskin packet from the captain's sea chest. The pirates arrive and start tearing up the Admiral Benbow as Jim and his mother hide. They can't find the map and are awfully angry about this. Blind Pew's beating the fellow pirates with his cane, and they seem to be scared of this blind man, even though they have full use of their eyes. However, out in the streets, he's run down by one of the squire's men, because help did eventually come, and Blind Pew is trampled to death in the street by a man named Hunter, who does play into this story a little bit, but is a minor character. Jim is then taken to the doctor and the squire, and they examine the contents of the oilskin packet and discover that it is in fact a treasure map, leading to Captain Flint's treasure on Treasure Island. And that is a quick brief summary as they decide to go after the treasure of Part 1. Now, there's a few more literary terms you want to know about. We talked about direct and indirect characterization way back when we were in school in Quarter 3. You should probably still know those terms about how, perhaps, if you're told someone is cruel, that is direct characterization. But if you see them beating up their friends with a cane, and you have to infer that they're cruel, that is indirect characterization. You also should probably know about round and flat characters. Round characters are characters who have many traits and multiple personality aspects to them. For example, you want to take a look at perhaps Jim, who is both a cowardly, seeks adventure, who is willing to be brave at certain points, who feels sympathy for the pirates, but at the same time is disgusted by their skullduggery. That is an example of a round character because he has many different traits and aspects to him. A flat character might be Blind Pew, whose only real defining traits are that he's blind and that he's cruel. And remember, all the pirates we're introduced to have some sort of physical deformity, establishing them as, somewhat nefarious, following the trope of that scars can sort of mark bad guys. Now, it also tells you the kind of life they've all led. The captain has a scar on his face that looks infected. Black Dog is missing fingers on his left hand. He only has 3 of them. Blind Pew has had his eyes blasted out. Long John Silver's missing a leg. These are all ways you can that are tipped off that they're members of Flint's crew and what savage, bloodthirsty buccaneers they are. And that 6th grade is where I'm going to leave you for today with our review of Part 1. I'll hope to be posting the review of Part 2 soon. Take care.